So good evening, everybody. Welcome to Emily and Nick's Geneva signing ceremony. We're very excited that you can all join us for this. My name is Rachel. I'm a friend of Emily's from college. I'm a good friend of Emily and Nick's. Also went to elementary school with Emily's cousin, so we're like destined to be, friends, which is great. For those of you who don't know, a ketubah is a Jewish marriage contract. So I already promised Joel that unlike other Jewish traditions, this will not take many, many hours, so don't worry. I know there's still speeches and desserts, but we wanted you all to be witness to this signing. So ketubah is a Jewish marriage contract. Traditionally, it was in place for ensuring that the husband provided certain things to the wife. You might ask what those things are, and my internet research showed me that there were 3 really important things. Food, that was needed to be provided, food, clothing, and thirdly, conjugal rights. So, thankfully, like the rest of their wedding and their relationship, Emily and Nick have really taken tradition and made it their own, adapted it to. So we'll be passing around some bucket list cards and markers. If you could jot down one hope, goal, intention that you have for their relationship together. This could be something as small as finding a new favorite place to walk, or something as big as traveling to every continent together, as silly as starting a conga line at the Target. Whatever you want it to be, if you could just write it down and write legibly, that would be great.
They have to do it. So.
They have to do it. Make sure to sign your name so they know who made them do this thing.
My rules. If you want to marry me, here's what you'll have to do. You must learn to make a perfect chicken dumpling stew, and you must sew my holy socks, and soothe my troubled mind, and develop the knack for scratching my back and keep my shoes spotlessly shined. And while I rest, you must rake the leaves, and when it's hailing and snowing, you must shovel the walk, and be still when I talk, and hey, where are you going?
As you can imagine, their ketubah is about more than food or clothes or conjugal rights. So they actually wrote their ketubah in their own words, and they did so together. So we will be hearing the ketubah that they wrote together. As is tradition, we have some witnesses who will be signing the ketubah after. I'll explain a little bit about that. But first, Alexa is going to read their words for their intention and the framework for their marriage.
Emily and Nick vow to support one another, providing encouragement for their individual and joint growth, and fulfillment for their shared dreams. They shall be open and honest, understanding and accepting, loving and forgiving. They promise to encourage and inspire one another as life partners, their hearts fused together, creating a unique bond with friendship and compassion at its core. Nick and Emily promise to recognize and celebrate life's joys together while overcoming life's adversities with tenacity. They shall strive to maintain an intimacy that nourishes one another emotionally and intellectually while being mindful of their respective qualities and strengths. They shall strive to build a home honoring Jewish culture, emanating acceptance, hope, humility, laughter, and love. Emily and Nick shall be better together.
I hope you all practice your signatures. So Corey and Mary, if you could come up as well.
This is our ketubah.
This is the ketubah, so that will be on prominent display in their home, even if they move houses, they move to Virginia.
Those that know Robbie and I, we're pretty casual people. I never liked being called Mr. Shaman. Right, Taryn?
Yeah, it's true. It's right. Very accurate.
And as you age, if you've called your friend's parents Mr., when do you convert to first name? It's difficult. So Nick came over, And we said, please, immediately, not call me Mr. Shade. Joel. Kept saying, Joel. Uncomfortable though. So Nick chose to call me Sir. And he thought it was funny. So tonight, I thought we would start by knighting Sir Nick. But for any good knighting ceremony, you need the proper attendees. And unfortunately, there's some that couldn't make it tonight. Corey? So we've added to the attendance a little bit of the wedding.
Hi.
Yeah, it's good to set that up over here.
Great work, Joel.
Yes, absolutely. They're very disappointed. So any good knighting ceremony needs some of Nick's closest
Does Lauren know this is happening?
We're happy to have them along. Sir Nick, if you would, on your knees. I now knight you, sir, member of the Academy. And with your new title. So the first thing that many of you should know is, you know, you just don't know how to parent. You got to figure it out as you go, right? And one day, the Beanie Baby craze came. Woo! Beanie Babies everywhere! Beanie Babies! People are buying them. People are collecting them. People are running to McDonald's to buy them. What's going on with those Beanie Babies? And there's a guy across the street from us, Vic. He sells his kids' Beanie Babies for like $1,000. The craze was like, how did he do that? They're worth money. I went home and stole my kids' Beanie Babies. What the heck? So they were very disappointed, but I still have some. And they remind me of Emily. And I thought maybe I'd share them. Thank you.
Give him back.
Come back.
Yeah. Okay. So now, Emily also has dabbled in many arts over the years. She never really liked her artwork, but I loved it. I really loved it. And I found this in the garbage can many, many years ago. I think she was 5. This was in the garbage can. And this has been on my desk ever since I took it out of that garbage can.
No.
Not your father.
This is the hardest thing to give on. No.
What I could say.
Then she comes along with some other stuff. Because I'm never going to collect on this. One free chance to kick me off the computer. Well, here it is again. You have 2 free chances to kick her off the computer. They don't expire. They don't talk about transferability.
Oh, that you get.
Now this is a special one because you don't find Emily doing this every day. So use this at the right time. 1 free car wash if the temperature's over 75 degrees.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the one who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the one who goes along with you. When I come home, well, I know I'm gonna be the one who comes back home to you. If I grow old, well, I know I'm gonna be the one who's growing old with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the one who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. To be the one who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the one who's lonely without you. When I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the one who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Hello! For those of you who don't know me, I'm Emily's brother, Corey, and I'm so excited to be here with Yuri to help my sister and Nyalyn get married. There are a lot of reasons to celebrate today. Our family and friends are all here, filling this space with positivity. We get to talk about and celebrate love, which is amazing. And if we do this right and stick to the script, they'll even be married at the end of this.
We're setting the bar here high. There are even 2 of us here for redundancy to ensure success. The bride, unsurprisingly, has thought of everything. My name is Yuri Kubo. I'm a longtime friend of Nick's, though friend really doesn't do that justice. Nick actually did an incredible job of officiating my own wedding 2 years ago to my wife Elaine, and I had the ultimate honor of being asked to do my best to stand in for his sister Lauren, who's here today via the magic of technology. She is the iPhone right there waving. I could never hope to live up to what Lauren was going to do today, so I will be reading a couple of her passages just to have her here.
And all of us here today are here to support Emily and Niall's marriage, but there are a couple of people here today who are here on a little more official basis and standing under this fantastic chuppah that we've assembled. So I want to introduce Mandy, who's back there in the corner, and Taryn, who are some of Emily's friends since before I was Emily's brother, and so it's amazing that they can be here today.
And to support the remaining hosts of this beautiful and very intuitive-to-build chuppah, Nick has asked his younger brother, Nathanius, as well as his longtime friend and fellow Indiana Academy alum, Brandon. To best describe what this wedding means to Nick and Emily, I would like to read the passage written by Lauren for this occasion. Today's wedding between Emily and Nick is, of course, a very special day for them, but really it's a special day for everyone present, too. Today is a celebration, a party to commemorate this couple committing themselves to each other for life and to remind all of those present who are married of their own commitment and their love for one another. It's also a light of hope for those who hope to but have not yet wedded. This day is also for friends and family to gather, to catch up, and to remind each other that love isn't just between two people romantically, but between family members and friends. Nick and Emily wanted to have today as a reminder of that, which is why they've chosen two non-professional, very clearly from the start of this, sibling and friend officiants to stand up here today, why they wanted friends and family members to stand beside them under the chuppah to support them, and why all of you are invited. Emily and Nick wanted the idea of community to be everywhere. Love expresses itself in many ways, so silliness, jokes, and stories are all welcome today. It is thanks to these two that the love that Lauren just described between friends and family also has the opportunity to grow. I stand here next to Corey, who, through the magic of this beautiful relationship that Nick and Emily have cultivated, I am also excited to call one of my good friends. I'm sure there are many similar stories out there, and certainly will be more after today. It is with the interweaving of the halves that Nick and Emily have brought together that we as a whole celebrate today.
And so some of you know the work that went into building this glorious chuppah. I want to thank some people who helped assemble it. My dad, Joel, as well as Paul and Drew Meitzer, who are here today, and a bunch of Nick's friends, including Yuri, and Brandon, and Thad, and Dusty, and I'm sure I'm forgetting someone, so thank you for your help. You can see that the chuppah is a testament to Jewish tradition, and it's actually a pretty special thing. It is not actually called a chuppah. Sorry, Lauren. But there's no furniture inside the chuppah because it's a symbol of the home that Emily and Nick are building. And like any good home, it's made by the people, not the possessions. In addition, it has open walls to represent that Emily and Nick are letting their community in, and that they'll always be here for all of you to come in when you need them. So I think it's pretty beautiful.
All right. Now, Corey and I have a few things to say that each one of us would like to share about Nick and Emily as individuals that have, up until now, been hidden from them. So I'll start by saying a few words about Nick. We started our weird, wild journey together as friends back in high school with the Indiana Academy, and through our mutual interest in Ultimate Frisbee and Taco Bell, we spent a ridiculous amount of time together. Going by you, Kid in the Hat, we met almost exactly 16 years ago, when he was one of my first picks at the time for my Ultimate Frisbee team, and he continues to be one of my first picks in everything that we do today. For example, when thinking about an officiant for my own wedding, Nick was the obvious choice. Not only was the price right, but Nick had been there through my entire 8-year relationship with Helene, and really my entire adult life. Helene had reservations, of course. Yeah. His easygoing nature, his nonchalance, and his joking really masks someone who's deeply committed to the people around him. Just so fundamentally. In true form, Nick spent every last second leading up to the wedding to perfect every last detail and make sure it was just right. We were getting ready for the wedding. He was like scribbling notes in the margin. This experience is not unique. I know all of you have very similar stories about Nick. And out of all the reasons why I choose to describe, or out of all the ways I could choose to describe Nick, such as funny, intelligent, or snappy dresser, I choose dedication. Dedication to his friends, his family, to anything he puts his mind to. I've asked him to stand outside in Kalamazoo, Michigan, in every form of precipitation imaginable, including snow and sleet, and at the end of it, he even bought me dinner. He drove hundreds of miles every weekend to play in my Ultimate Frisbee team to keep me sane. And he went so far as to stay at Purdue for 6 years, I'll say because of how dedicated he was to Purdue. I don't know that I've ever actually told him how much the friendship meant to me when going through the aftermath of my mom passing away. But while our regular lunches and dinners together, throwing a disc in the engineering mall, and playing video games seemed like a distraction from school life, they kept me sane in one of the hardest times of my life. I know that every member of his family has many stories that they're excited to tell today that will corroborate my story, but I think what I'm most excited about and most excited to hear is what hopelessly romantic thing he will do in the name of dedication to Emily to help make a rough day just a little bit brighter, because I'm sure there are plenty and there's a lifetime more to come.
Like Yuri, like Yuri, I've really come to enjoy this time in my life where Emily and more recently Nick and I are actually pretty close friends. Growing up, I never would have imagined that we would end up taking sibling vacations together, or that Emily or Nick would be the ones to take me to the hospital when I'm trying to recover from an allergic reaction, or fly across the country when I got sick. And, Emily would always jokingly say that the best years of her life were her first few before I was born. And I think now we mostly laugh at that because we know how far from the truth that is. The love in our family has only grown, and I'm really excited to welcome Nick into that. I grew up with an amazing sister role model, and as my parents tell me, I followed my sister around trying to do everything that she did as a kid. A shared upbringing does a lot to foster a strong sibling bond. But the next great unifier among siblings is, of course, pranks. Before Emily and I were friends, and maybe before puberty taught us to be annoyed at each other, we were united in our quest to pull off the best sibling pranks. One of the better pranks that I pulled off was making my sister believe that she had won a write-in magazine contest. It was April Fool's Day in the early 2000s, and I was maybe 7 to 9, and Emily was 11 or 12. And with the help of my mom, we typed up a super official-looking letter from Teen Magazine. And the letter went through the mail, and the postmark helped to sell its authenticity. And it stated that Emily had won an all-expenses-paid Caribbean cruise with the band NSYNC and all of her best friends. And I think we know who she would have brought, so. And when she called to claim the prize, the number actually secretly belonged to my Bubby and Papa, who are sitting here in the front row. And they weren't in on it at all. And when they answered, she got to attempt to explain, well, dumbfounded, that I had pulled off the best prank that day. The follow-up, of course, to all of this were her constant attempts to prank me back. And her favorite prank was offering me lemonade, which was almost always tainted with something terrible, like ketchup or black pepper or something gross. I'm really glad we've moved past this phase, although I am keeping my guard up today. And even though the lemonade was almost always unpalatable, I still remember how much I loved the attention that I got from my sister, whom I respected and still do love so much. And I still have a fondness for lemonade. And now every time I drink it, I think of the possibility that there could be ketchup in it. But I also smile and I think about my sister. And occasionally when I have a tough day, or when life gives me lemons, my sister's the person who I call. Because social work training or not, she knows me the best, and is always one of the people that will be there for me, no matter what. And as Nick has proven time and time again recently, he is also that person. And I'm really glad to welcome him into the family.
So now to talk a little bit about them as a couple. There were 3 reasons that I was surprised when Nick said he was going to come to California and visit, and that he was bringing someone. Despite being involved in a minor industrial accident the last time he had visited me, I knew that was not one of the surprises of him coming out. First was that in the entire time I'd known him up to that point, I'd not known Nick to actually be in a serious relationship. And furthermore, second, this person was important enough to actually bring him out and visit. Perhaps most shocking was that he would trust me to meet someone he was that serious about. Even at this point, relatively early in their relationship, I could really tell that Nick had jumped in with 2 feet. And my wife and I could both tell how committed and supportive they were of one another. This support has only grown with time, and even in Nick's dumber moments, like the one I'm about to mention, she wants nothing but the best for him. So I'm not sure how many of you have gotten a root canal, but what Nick had, you might call a doozy. But don't feel too bad. It's worth noting that everything after his second appointment with his dentist was his fault. Even after his dentist messed up the first attempt, he gave him another chance. And when he messed up the second attempt, Nick, with a large heart, gave him yet another. So I've never actually seen Nick in this much pain. And when visiting Nick and Emily briefly during this saga, Emily was incredible. She took care of him when the pain was unbearable. You tried to get him an oral surgeon who was more qualified to do the job. You went to the dentist to talk to him when Nick was in so much pain that he couldn't advocate for himself. She even got his friends, me, to help pile on and convince him to go someplace else. So after all that, Nick finally listened and found someone else to finish the procedure. Just kidding. He actually went back and gave his dentist another chance, which, unsurprisingly, he messed up. And he went back for one final procedure, 5 in total, finishing just days before he was supposed to go to Colombia and propose. There are 2 key takeaways here. 1, if it weren't for Emily, Nick would still be going to that dentist. 2 is obvious but worth repeating. Always listen to Emily. I am just so happy to know that you found someone who loves you so much that no matter what she says, you can know and you can listen that she only wants the best for you.
For those of you who know Emily, you know that she's a lot. She has a lot of love to give and a lot of goof to give, but requires a lot in return. I'm excited for Emily and Nick to continue to discover the ways that they can grow together. And because of my sister's big personality, I've never felt like I needed another sibling. But Nick has shown me just how great it is to have a brother. He and Emily make an absolutely amazing team, and I've gotten to see firsthand the power of their partnership. I'm sure everyone here that's interacted with them has a story of Emily, Nick, or both of them showing up to support them. I think that's what's really special about these two, just how much they support each other and their community. And so now we're going to move on. Nyalyn and Emily have both made joint vows together and signed their personal ketubah, which is right over here. They invite you to come take a look after the ceremony at this beautiful document that was signed. And they also want to explain some of the other traditions that are happening here. So we talked about the chuppah, but after they make their joint vows, they're also going to be breaking a glass together. And after they're pronounced married, they're going to take a leap into a new era. Traditionally, the breaking of a glass at a wedding represents that love, like glass, is fragile and must be taken care of. It also represents the breakdown of 2 separate cultures and faiths coming together as one. But of course, Emily and Nyalyn are not the most traditional, and this is perhaps not the most traditional wedding. So while traditionally the groom would be the one smashing the glass, they're going to take that leap together with 2 feet and one unbelievable marriage. So just know that that's coming. When that happens, feel free to shout Mazel Tov, which is traditional, but also feel free to celebrate in any way that you want. Please say woohoo, or even yabba dabba doo, which is what Lauren was going to say if she were here, if anybody's a Flintstones fan out there. And at the end, feel free to sing or dance in place as they walk down, and the family leaves this area and we move on to the reception. But let's get back to the heart of it.
In addition to the vows and the ketubah, Nick and Emily have also individually prepared private vows that they will now share with each other. Nick, winning the ceremonial coin toss, will go first. Nick?
Alright, so I've already started crying during this, so this is going to be a disaster. Emily, you've always claimed to be difficult, and often you are. You always wait until I've already sat down to ask for that glass of water. You always give me 2 options for dinner, saying you have no preference, and I choose wrong 100% of the time. And I've just given up. You are entitled to 3/4 of the bed and all the covers every night. It's fine, I get it. What doesn't make you impossible is your ability to improve the people around you. When we met, I was an incredibly closed-off person, would not talk about anything personal whatsoever. If someone tried to ask me a question that was personal, I would deflect. But you wouldn't accept that, and you have worked and worked to tear down these walls. And I know it hasn't been easy, but thanks to you, we can have this relationship, and I can have a closer, more open relationship with the friends and family that are important to me. Emily, you make me comfortable when I'm feeling out of place. You make me smile when I want to cry, and laugh when I'm feeling somber. You are the first thought I have when I wake up in the morning, and your presence is what lets me sleep at night. I cannot imagine a future without you. You are my partner in life, my willing accomplice, the crackers for my cheese, and most of all, my best friend. My beautiful, I promise to feed you when you get hangry, and to always give you the best people watching seat in the restaurant. I promise to read you a bedtime story when you ask, even though I've already been asleep for 5 minutes. I promise to continue making mistakes, but to learn from them, and I promise that when you do, I will forgive and forget. I promise to take care of you when you're unable, and I promise to do the same when you are. I promise to eventually get all your tchotchkes hung around the house. I promise to be your rock when you need stability, and I promise to be your goof when you need levity. I promise to build a home with you centered around love, compassion, hope, and empathy. I promise to encourage you to be your best and to grow with you. I promise to love and cherish you each and every day. Emily, eres mi todo, para siempre, mi amor.
Can you all hear me? I thought I didn't care that he won the coin toss, but I definitely should have told him I was going first. I love. I want to start this important romantic moment by bringing up one of our very consistent fights. Not the one about me procrastinating my taxes, but the one about expressing love, that thing I complain about to this day. The problem is that, Nick, you tell me you love me so much all of the time. You say I love you so much that I get so annoyed with it and how often you say it. And there was that first time when you had just said I love you like 100 times in 10 minutes and you didn't realize you were doing that. So, I had to point it out to you. And so the next time you were going to say it, and I knew you would, I was ready. And you said, I love you. And I replied, obviously. And you paused, and you responded, you're difficult. But I will always remember this. You had that slight curve of a smile on your lips when you said it that time. And your eyes were kind of wide, which is what you do when you're trying to spite me or show your love and win at the same time. And so by saying that, you were basically just telling me that you loved me using different words. And then you actually did say it again, and you said, you're difficult, but I love you. And I was so annoyed. So as you know, we've talked about that many times, and you always tell me you just want to make sure I always know. And I say, no, you're just being cheesy and annoying. And you say no, and that's where we're at. And you don't stop saying it. You continue to tell me how much you love me all of the time, no matter what and how I react. And that's why I love you. You're a man of few words, but when something is important, you say it, no matter what. And I love you for that. So even though in this case, you're the one saying too much, we know that usually I'm the one to say too much. And since we're saying vows right now, I will vow to keep saying too much. I will be the talker on our team. But really, I vow to uphold our teammate status, our partner and partner status forever. I love that we talk about each other as partners. I feel so truly supported by you. I vow to reciprocate your dedication and support. I vow to do my best every single day to make you feel as loved as I feel. I vow to let you say what you want to say, even if you say it 100 times in 10 minutes. And I vow to listen to you, to really listen. And I vow to respond to you as your true partner. You can tell me that you love me, and I'll be your teammate, and I'll reply in the best way for us at that moment. And I vow to express my love back to you, even if it's not in the most obvious ways. And I vow to always be on your team. I will always be your partner. I love us, and I love you so much.
I would like to again read a passage that Lauren has written for the exchanging of the ring. Emily and Nick have chosen to publicly display their commitment to each other in the form of wedding rings. These rings have the purpose of showing those around them that they have chosen a lifelong relationship or marriage to each other, and to remind themselves that they are never alone in whatever they set out to accomplish, or when hard times may strike. They will always have each other to rely on from this day forward, and because laughter is important to them, even in this exchange of gifts with one another, They have chosen to include an inside joke engraved on the inside of their ring. Emily has explained that Nick is truly the romantic one in the relationship. He is so romantic to the point of cheesiness. Emily never lets him forget this. So they each named a type of cheese for each other to have engraved on their rings. Now they'll be wearing this cheesiness forever.
Originally, when Emily and Nick asked Lauren and I to officiate, we decided to meet up to talk about what marriage meant to them. And they did not know that I'd actually secretly both asked them the question, do you think that marriage is forever? And then they both absolutely responded with the affirmative yes, but then I told them each that they had disagreed on this question. And the fact that neither of them believed that for a second was really a testament to their love for each other. In fact, while we were planning this, we got so into the details that actually Lauren and Eric had brought their dog Argos over, and the dogs kept reminding us all that they needed to go out, but what actually happened was more of the wedding got planned, and the dogs ended up peeing all over their apartment. But I don't know why we're talking about pee at a wedding, so I think it's time to move on.
Excellent. All right, Nathaniel, please pass Emily's ring to Nick and Nick's ring to Emily. All right, please repeat after me. I promise to you to always be your support, your best friend, to be open and honest, understanding and accepting, loving and forgiving. I promise to encourage and inspire you, no matter what the future may bring. I see it as a journey that we will enjoy together. I promise this to you now and forever.
And now, with the power vested in me by a few short keystrokes online, and really the power in all of us here today, we collectively pronounce you married.
Touching me, touching you, yeah, you're touching me. I believe in things I love, just as you in my heart. There's a chance we can make it now. When the rocket and the sun goes down, I believe in a thing called love. Chance we can make it now. When the light of the sun goes out, I believe in a thing called love.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would
thank yous. To my parents, who came all the way from Los Angeles, Max and Nancy, they're way back there somewhere. Also my very favorite aunt, and she knows who she is, because she's my only aunt. And my cousin Gary, they're from Riverside, California. So it means so much to have all of you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a special thank you to everyone who came from anywhere else to be here. We know it's not easy on our guests to ask them to travel, but there are lots of you. There are friends and family here from, here's the list, Utah, Wisconsin, California, several locations, it's a big state, Indiana, Florida, Virginia, Minnesota, Connecticut, Colorado, Iowa, Arizona, Michigan, Texas. Did I miss any? I want to take a moment to acknowledge that Jill and I are just so happy and grateful to be able to be here to celebrate this wonderful event. Join me while I take a great big yoga breath inhale and a long, slow exhale, and just enjoy the karma in the room. Thank you. And
it's about love, it's not about things. It's about people, it's not about things. It's about having fun. It's not about politics. That happens at weddings sometimes, and not this wedding. We did all right. Because we get that. Priorities. Priorities are important. And as we raised our children and thought about our priorities, we understand that it takes a village. And a lot of our village is here. Starting with the mayor, right here to my left.
We're two of Emily's closest and longest friends, so we just have a little something to say. Just start us off. Hi, I'm Taryn. Hi, I'm Mandy, and we are so glad to be here tonight with Emily and Nick. We've known Emily for 27 years now, and we all met on Deer Path Drive, and Anthony, on a summer day, due to the simple wonders of sidewalk talk, and we've been a close trio ever since. We have been through various stages and phases in life, and one of our happiest times together was in the Spice Girls era. We would reenact Spice Girls performances with costumes, choreography, and singing, and we were able to channel girl power through these performances. Now Emily's going to come and dance with us. Just kidding. We were more. Over the years, we've all had our own special roles in the trio. Tara's role is bringing the fun and laughs. She's ready for anything and usually ends up convincing us to participate in whatever activity or plan she has up her sleeve. And then Mandy's role has always been our group mom. She is constantly looking out for us and planning ahead. She is our nurturer, the best chef baker of us all, and knows how to make us feel loved. She is the glue of the group. And then there's our dear friend Emily. Emily, you have always been supportive of our dreams and our goals. You are always ready to listen and provide the best feedback. You're a go-getter, world traveler, bilingual, and you stand up for what you believe in. You're the scholar and the wisest of the trio, and we love you. Emily, you've put up with our ridiculousness and our antics for the past 27 years, and we thank you for that. With that said, we have also had to put up with your ridiculousness over the years, and that's what true friends are for. We're so glad that Emily has found Nick. When we first met Nick, it was so easy to get along with him. He was easy to talk to, and we could see how much he cared for our friends. We liked him right away and knew he was the one for Emily. Now here we are on their wedding day, and we're so happy for the bride and groom. Emily, we love you so much, and we're so happy that you found your person, your partner, your other half. In true trio fashion, Nick, you have allowed us to officially say in our Spice Girl way, because you are Emily's person, you've gotten with your friends, our friendship lasts forever, our friendship never ends.
As Nick's sister, I feel at least the smallest amount qualified to accurately describe to you all a bit about who Nick really is. Nick is a dedicated, hardworking, and goal-achieving individual, which isn't really surprising to anyone who has spent even just one day working with him in any capacity. He also has a strong sense of humor. Nick is the one who introduced me to Monty Python's Flying Circus, Monty Python's Holy Grail, and to the wonderfully, terribly 1980s style Look Around You television comedy show. Just the mere mention of being a lumberjack will make Nick smirk, because he knows that I'll be humming the I'm a Lumberjack song all day. Sadly, Nick's humor stops short of puns. Puns just make him sigh condescendingly as if they're beneath him. I thought about slipping in as many puns as possible and having the daddies count Nick's sighs on the whiteboard. But in the end, I decided to settle with letting everyone know that this flaw in Nick's character instead. Nick is also an extremely loyal, kind, loving, and serving person to those he cares about. Nick is always there if you need him. I could list off all the big ways in which he's been there for me throughout my life, but I think what's more important going into this marriage are the little things he does thoughtfully and as easily as breathing. And an example of that for me was when I turned 21. My birthday is at the beginning of August, pretty close to today in fact, so every year in college all my friends were pretty much out of town for my birthday, while I was on campus working. On my 21st birthday, Nick invited me to join him and a friend at a bar where he bought me a beer and we just sat and talked for a couple of hours. Now, that might not seem like much, but you have to also understand, I have still never to this day drank alcohol because to me, the stuff smells like the most foul substance people inexplicably willingly ingest. He knew this, bought me a beer anyway, but also bought me a Pepsi to drink as that beer just sat there in front of me as a symbol of the fact that I did still hit that milestone of turning 21. He knew it was still important to me to feel included and not forgotten with everyone out of town, even though he knew how I felt about alcohol. Why else would anyone take their little sister to a bar when you know she can't even stand the smell of alcohol? It's those little thoughtful gestures that I know he'll show to Emily every day of their life together that I think will make all the difference in their marriage. The first time I even had an inkling that Nick might be seriously dating someone was when I got a text from our mom that he just said, I met Emily today. She seems nice. Considering Nick very rarely brought even friends over to meet family members, I figured Emily was probably a pretty big deal to Nick. So, I wasn't entirely surprised when later that year when we were planning a backpacking trip, since they were both in Chicago and Eric and I lived in California at the time. Now, while I was not surprised Nick said he was bringing Emily, what did surprise both me and Emily was that he had not yet told Emily that he'd like her to join, and that in fact, he had already bought her a ticket to Portland, the place where we were meeting up for our trip. For any of you out there not yet married, who have a significant other you might possibly like to marry one day, unless you know them really well, I would not suggest pulling the same stuff. Luckily for all of us on the backpacking trip, it worked out really well, but still, I would not recommend copying Nick. On the trip, Nick showed his caring side, which was endearing, and Emily was just herself, so Eric and I were able to get to know her. She told me later that she was nervous the entire time, but she didn't show it one bit. She even let me take a picture of her pretending to be a sloth on a fallen tree that crossed the trail, which is still one of my favorite pictures I took on that trip. Through the years, I've seen how Emily compliments Nick very well. Nick has a strong sense of humor, but can also slip into this serious or fix-it mode. And Emily is able to lighten him up or show him there might be another side of the story to look at before just plunging in and trying to fix every problem he sees. They make each other laugh every day, they spend time with each other, and they look for ways to get to know each other and each other's interests better. They work through challenges together, like just a couple of months ago when they found out that they had to move out of their apartment within 2 weeks and they didn't have a new apartment lined up yet. And they were planning this day at the same time. What I hope for them going forward is that they never forget to choose each other every day and to show that they have made that choice to each other every day through all of the small things, as well as milestone events that will come in their life together. Congratulations, Nick and Emily, on finding each other and choosing to spend the rest of your lives together. And for the record, I know you two are the ones I'm going to have to closely watch when it comes to spoiling your soon-to-be niece or nephew. Don't think you can slip it past me.
Okay, so it seems like tonight's going to be a night of following up really hard acts. And I'm not ready for either of these, so let's try this. Hi everyone, we're so happy you're here today.
This day has been so surreal for so long, and it's still so surreal. I just can't believe how happy I am.
Everyone keeps telling us this day is all about us. But the thing is that if you know me, and even sometimes you don't have all the attention on us.
So since everyone keeps telling us that we get whatever we want on this day, hear it over and over, we want to give everyone else some attention, not on us.
Also, we're about to break the 3 to 5 minute rule on speeches, so just deal with it, it's our day. So, without further ado, we're going to have the first and last Emily and Allen wedding award ceremony.
Alright, the ceremony will be done in style. We have these generous awards to give to everyone. But, for the sake of time, hold all applause, hugs, and moments to share love and gratitude for the end of the speech. We do want to make sure we have time for dessert. So, the first award goes to my friends, Mandy and Taryn. You both received the award, the Best Most Honorary Bridesmaids-ish Maids of Honor Award. Since they have been so important in my life since about 3 years old, Mandy and Taryn would have naturally been Maids of Honors or Bridesmaids. So, to their dismay, when I chose not to have a bridal party, instead of receiving the usual surprise gift and to ask to be a bridesmaid, they received the surprise of not having any title at all. And they responded that it's okay because they will wear matching dresses and call themselves Maids of Honor anyways. And they do coordinate very well today. But they deserve it. They truly do. They have gone above and beyond to make sure I feel happy and loved and getting everything I need and want, and they have been so amazing to me.
The Say Yes Before We Ask the Question award goes to Pat and Branson. Pat and Branson has said absolutely yes to absolutely everything that we've asked them to do, and then volunteered more. I mean, they did tell us that as a bride and groom we can ask anything that we wanted this day, and so we did. We asked them to do so many things and then just kept changing those things, and they kept saying yes. I hadn't even asked Branson to be a hubba bearer when I wrote this. I just assumed that he was going to do it because that's the kind of guy he is. But of all the things that you guys have done, your friendship to myself and Emily has been the greatest gift of all. We've had some memorable adventures together, and I can't wait till we start the next one.
My friends Rachel and Alexa deserve the Reason Everyone Else Had to Work So Much award. These two ladies and their partners have spent the last several years showing us what happy marriages look like. They also let us use their weddings as a perfect example about how weddings should be done, meaning that they showed us how to ask everyone else to do all of the work.
The award for standing there and looking pretty goes to my brother Zach. Sometimes he just needs my candy to take the attention off you for 40 minutes or so. So we asked my brother to stand up there and be a huckleberry. But honestly, without the support of my siblings, I would not be who I am today. Dad, our marathon gaming sessions, driving that truck of yours that was literally falling apart to California, and trying to find an open restaurant at 11 p.m. on Thanksgiving are some of my fondest memories. You are awesome, and I'm so happy that you're here with us today to celebrate this.
It's no surprise who gets the Too Famous to Be Here award. My cousins, Michael and Allison, and Marnina. Nick and I weren't quite sure that my cousin Michael and his girlfriend Marnina would show up today. Not for any bad reason, but just because they are in the midst of amazing productions out in Hollywood, and we figured they'd be too famous to make it. But here they are. And to have my cousin Allison join them as part of their music was just so special. Not just to Nick and to me, but to my whole family. My cousins have been so amazing. Michael, Allison, but also Kyle and Rachel. Thank you for being an amazing part of my life.
My sister Lauren has definitely earned the best, worst way to get out of public speaking. As we mentioned before, my sister and her husband Eric aren't here today. We asked Lauren back in September of last year if she would be a co-officiant for a ceremony with Corey. And she said yes. She then told us how terrified of public speaking she is. 4 months later, she let us know that she was pregnant with her first kid and due mid-August. Now, I'm not saying she was looking for a way out, but in all seriousness though, if she could be here today, I know she would be. She's a wonderful influence on our lives, and I couldn't ask for a better sister. And we can't wait to meet her nephew Reese.
So Corey and Yuri, you were both given too much freedom to write our ceremony. There were many awards, very possible for you, but in the end, you both get the Let's Just Improv a Marriage award.
Corey and Yuri, you put on an excellent ceremony today. I couldn't have asked for better. Corey, who had 11 months to work on it, and Yuri, who we asked last week to fill in for my sister. That being said, I'm pretty sure you both started at the same time. For a while we thought Corey would use this as an improv exercise, and honestly, with Yuri as his partner in crime, we had no doubt that they could pull it off.
Corey, where are you, Corey? Okay, I just need to see you. So Corey, you get the simple and sappy explanation right now, but after talking about pranks, I wish I had planned something else. Because as much as you say that you improvised the ceremony, and I have no doubt that you kind of did, I was not at all worried. You are always there for me, always. I know that I can count on you. And it's just so meaningful to have a brother who I know I can count on no matter what. I'm never worried that Corey will come through for me, and you really did stay for. Thank you so much. I love you.
Yuri, I asked you a week ago to fill in for my sister, and I gave you every opportunity to say no to this. But I just knew. I knew you were going to say yes. It didn't matter. You didn't even do anything for me. You had a bit to learn about Jewish culture, as do I still, and you got a bit of a vocab lesson out of it. Thanks to you, I'm never going to look at her ketubah without thinking of ketchup tuba. But you and Corey really did an amazing job today, as I knew you guys would. Yuri, I cannot thank you enough for the support and friendship that you've given me all of these years.
Last but not least, and actually most important, are, you know who I'm talking about. These two are loving and giving and generous, and most especially, with everything related to today, extremely cheesy. So if you were ever wondering why I love Nick's cheesy personality, well, you can tell from the puns and the talks and the speech
speeches about love and marriage popping up all over our wedding that I have grown up surrounded by very cheesy parents.
The cheesiest Extreme Designer Award goes to Joel Shaman. Sir, you have worked tirelessly and without complaint on item after item, list after list after list after list after list. And we cannot thank you enough. Between helping us through the big decisions like the venue, to the tiny minutia like the hours spent fixing the A in the font of my name on all the signs out here, you've been involved in every single detail. Some days I think you bought the sign shop in anticipation for this wedding. All the signs, banners, candy wraps, fans, labels, and everything else that I can't think of right now. How do you have time for other clients? Seriously. We, maybe just I, greatly underestimated what it would take to put an event like this on. And without the help of you and Robbie, this would not have been possible. Thank you so much.
My mom deserves the cheesiest Energizer Bunny Award. I have always known that my mom works hard, but throughout this wedding season, my mom trained harder than usual. She did not spare a moment prepping for today. Mom, I know that you wouldn't have chosen this style for your own party, but I really appreciate all of the thoughtfulness that you've had throughout. You really, truly have made this weekend exactly what we wanted. I'm gonna really miss my time with you prepping for today. Mom, Dad, you both deserve an enormous standing ovation for all of the sweat, tears, and love you put into making this weekend mean so much to Nick and me. Let's give my mom and dad a round of applause.
The short version of the song. Japan is perfect. Great.
Special request? Branding words? Any requests?
Yeah.
And we'll use those to make a song, and those 5 words will be the short version.
day a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle again. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like when you're older must appease him, and promises of someday make his dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle again. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town, and they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet too slow the circle